Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, The Money Cure. I'm your host, Sean Grant. Excited to be with you here today, helping you to make more of that cheddar. All right. So, for me, starting this podcast has been something that's very therapeutic. It's been something that has helped me in my own right to fix a lot of the financial issues that I've experienced. And so, a lot of that pretty much comes down to not really understanding the concept of money, not really accepting the fact that it's energy and that when you can really match up to that energy, you can create a lot of it. But also, and this is most important, starting to create a vibration that's compatible with money. And what do I mean by that? When your vibration is compatible with money, you start to get ideas. You start to get concepts, divine concepts that'll show you how to create more, that'll show you how to really maximize your income, your net worth, all these things that are important to us in this world. So, let's talk about stress as it relates to finances. And if you look at the title, it says stress is the number one killer to your bank account. So that's a bold statement. That's a really bold statement. And what do I mean by that? It's funny because whenever I like to talk about stuff like this, some people will come along and say, well, that guy's a nervous wreck and he has $10 million in the bank. Or this guy doesn't give a crap about anybody else and he has a lot of money in the bank. So what do you mean stress is the number one killer? And so my reply is always, yeah, I get that. He has a lot of money. I get that. He, is rolling in the dough, but he's an absolute wreck. A shipwreck, if you really want to get down to specifics. And he's afraid that he's going to lose what he has. He's afraid that he's going to spend too much here or give too much away there. That's not what you want to experience when you have a lot of money or financial abundance, as I like to call it. You want to be in a place of just having peace of mind, having the joy of knowing that, you know what, if something needs to go out, I have it. It can go out. Oh, how lovely. Something else is coming in. And, things just begin to come in a way that will continually facilitate the lives that we desire. And that for everybody, it gets down to just having more than enough to pay your bills, having more than enough to save, having more than enough to do the things that you want to do. And so how do we get there? How do we make this a reality? How do we make this happen? Well, the first thing is to eliminate stress and worry. Now, I left worry out of the title, but worry kind of comes with stress because once you start stressing, chances are you're going to be worrying. And worrying causes fear. And this is kind of like dominoes, financial dominoes when you think about it, because what that does at that point, that allows money to completely fly away. Okay. So we sometimes get to a point to where we're so attached to it that we don't think it can show up in another way. We don't think it can show up in another channel. And that is just a lack of abundant mindset because as a divine being, as an energy connected to the most high energy, a source that is unlimited, an infinite number of times over, we can never run out. We can never run out of money. I was at the gas station this morning and one of the most profound things happened. And, it's profound to me, even though I've been listening to my inner guidance for as long as I can remember. And the message I received was, you'll never run out of money. You will never run out of money. And that was so reassuring because it was as if somebody was standing right there next to me telling me that I was never going to run out of money. So what does that do? That gives me confidence. That gives me peace. That gives me the ability to know that I can trust the divine to provide whenever something comes up. I don't have to hesitate to pay for it. I don't have to say, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? All I have to say is, you know what? Thank you that I have what I need to put it towards something else that I need. And I know that it will continually be replenished. And I will continue to give value. And as I give value, I receive value in return. And so it's this mind game that we have to get into where we're connected more to our higher power and lesser to our ego. And so what I mean by that, like I said, don't get me wrong. You can make a lot of money working with your ego. You can make a ton of money actually working with your ego, but you want to be able to make that money and you want to be able to have that peace of mind, because money with peace of mind equals freedom, equals abundance, equals happiness, equals endless joy, which means that you're not handcuffed to your cash. You're allowing it to circulate, and you're allowing it to circulate in amazing, massive cycles. And that is where we want to be. That is what we want to watch unfold within our financial lives. So we have to do without the stress, because the stress is just going to lead us to worry. It's going to lead us to fear. And then fear will not allow any money to come out, but it will allow a lot of money to, it won't allow any money to come in, but it will allow a lot of money to go out. So it's about working on that predominant thought that money is energy. And energy is always circulating, and it's always available to us. When my inner guidance was telling me that I would never run out of money, basically what it's saying is money is always available right now. It's available to you. All you have to do is allow it in. All you have to do is let it in. Let it move into a place to where it will provide for you if you'll let it. We look out the window, out our balconies at these trees and these plants. Do they look like they're under duress? I mean, sure, a plant that's dying, possibly. But for the most part, no. These plants are moving with ease. The same with the animals, the birds. Everything's moving with this ease that knows without a shadow of a doubt, but has complete 100% faith that everything is working out the way that it needs to. It's being given all that it desires, all that it requires to flourish, and then you see this plant turn into this beautiful, big, luscious, green, vegetative tree. And you're like, okay, I can learn something from that. Nature moves from a place of ease, from a place of freedom, from a place of what? Flow. What would happen if I adopted that same belief? What would happen if I adopted that same connection, that same lifeline to that energetic source of the universe that is just, I don't want to say aching, but that is so excited and enthusiastic about giving me more than enough? All I have to do is open my heart to it. All I have to do is open my consciousness to it. All I have to do is attune to that abundance, and that will be my reality. And one more thing here before we get ready to go. It comes down to your focus. I think about the Star Wars film, the first one, episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Qui-Gon Jinn tells Anakin Skywalker, a young Anakin, your focus determines your reality. And so at the time that came out, I think it was about 1999. And the first time I saw that movie was like the first or second year of college. And that's when I started studying the law of attraction. And, it was cool because I had heard about it and like I had, found some things, but I didn't know much about it. But in that one statement, it was completely magnified. Your focus determines your reality. For us, this means that if we allow our brains, our minds to work in unison with us, like if we give our mind, our brains commands. I learned this from Marissa Peer, who's like one of the most impressive clinical psychologists around. And she talked about building a partnership with your brain. And what does that mean? That means telling yourself you're more than enough. That means finding out if there's any blocks that you need to take care of that you may have inhabited. But more importantly, allowing your brain to take you to the places, to the things that are going to create that abundance. It's not about hard work. It's not about hard work. It's about being able to listen to what's inside of you, stopping for a moment, for 10 to 15 minutes, multiple times a day, and saying, what do I do next? What's the next step? I really desire financial abundance. I really desire to be wealthy, but I want to do right with the wealth. I want to be able to share it. I want to be able to live my life. I want to be able to help others. How do I do that? From a divine perspective, because from the perspective of divine, they can see everything. They know everything. They've seen the beginning, the middle, and the end. How can I achieve wealth, the wealth that I desire? And just wait for your answer. Wait for your answer. Maybe something as simple as go out to the car. And you may walk out to the car and just get an idea. Or it may be like lay down for a nap real quick. And you may have a dream that shows you an idea that's going to make you a multi-millionaire many times over. And it's just simple. So don't ignore the subtleties of how the universe may work for you in helping you to achieve your wealth. Now, I know I got off a bit on our subject, but I'm going to tie it in together right here and then let you guys go. In doing this, what this does, that connection, that relinquishes the stress within your body, that relinquishes the stress within your system, that allows you to rise higher and higher, not only financially, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and ultimately in your physical reality. So remember, get rid of the stress. Anytime you feel like you're stressing out, just stop for a moment, take a deep breath, relax, and remember, the universe has your back. Everything is taken care of. You are in a place to where you are always moving towards a path that is going to flourish you. No matter what physical reality looks like now, you're always moving to a place to where it's going to flourish you. And I promise you, it will be worth every single second, every single moment you're there. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Always a pleasure. Take care.